Some of them deserved it.
There we go.
It's on air.
Oh my gosh, we're on air now.
Oh, no.
Oh my god, after about an hour trying to fight like Video Ninja and OBS, the world just wanted to keep us apart, man.
It sure seems like it. I mean, you had 3 guys drag me into this interrogation basement.
Yeah.
One of them thanked me
3
and
guys
told
and
me
a dog.
Stay this year. That was weird. And now I've been sitting here talking to myself for an hour.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, keep talking. So, because I was like, I can see you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's usually how weird interrogations work, because I can't do anything about it, but you get to see and monitor all my stuff.
I know. It's just so awkward. I don't know. I don't think those kinds of interrogations work. Just awkward silence. And can I see you? Can you see me?
Yeah, where you were checking in on me. That one part was a little nice of you, but in this one window, so I know I'm below sea level.
Okay, all right. Well, I better get this intro out of the way. Otherwise people get lost. I mean, like I would in a wrestling ring. It is Sunday, January 4th, 2026. Oh my lordy lord. We're already in the new year. This is season 1, episode 21 of the Unfiltered podcast. I'm Tyler Anderson. The internet knows me as Tyler Liger. And I'm here with a very special guest. I've been wanting this guy on for a long time. And he is the Copperhead, Duke Cornell. Okay, other than the interrogation, which was nothing more than awkward silences, 3 guys and a dog.
Yeah, well, that dog got ran over, which made it weird.
I know. What happened to that dog? No.
It was kind of weird that there was a dead dog they brought in. It's still here. It didn't leave, but
it's just staring at you awkwardly. But okay,
yeah.
I get you. But oh heck yeah, we're here. Okay, and then I'm gonna double check stuff just to be safe because I don't want the awkward silences to continue. Because oh my lord, we've had enough, Fwanky. We've had enough.
Yeah, come on, Fwanky.
Come on, Fwanky. Okay, all right, we're still good. All right, cool. All right. So for the uninitiated, tell us a little bit about yourselves. I know you like long walks on the beach.
I do.
You do. What are some other things that you like other than like, you know, hitting people with stiff clotheslines and stuff?
Well, like you said, I like long walks on the beach.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of footsie. I like that. Where we rub toes. It's like holding hands, but with your feet. I'm a silly little fall down boy, or I used to be a silly little fall down boy. I did that I knew what I was doing for 17 years. I've done some other fall down boy activities before I knew what I was doing.
Right.
I count 17 of them because some of it I was just kind of we call them marks. I was a silly little mark that was falling around and making other people look good and bleeding for no reason. But now that I knew what I was doing, I was like, man, I need to get out. So I did that for 17 years. But yeah, I've kind of wrestled all over. Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, Wisconsin, Minnesota, both the Dakotas.
Oh my gosh.
Montana, all the way down to Georgia, and all the way up to Massachusetts and Rhode Island. So I've kind of been everywhere and done a little bit of everything with just about everybody.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's been me.
To start off in Alex McKay's backyard, man.
Yes.
Is that a trip?
Names like the Destroyer.
The Destroyer and Masturbator and Mavis.
Yeah. Master Debater, thank you. There's the middle initial, super important.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh man, the nostalgia's waving over me, something heavy. But hey, first of all, congratulations on a wonderful career.
Thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. No one who's done it better, and nobody who's done it funnier than you and Brian Gott. Shout out Brian Gott.
Shout out to Toad.
Shout out to Toad. Sean Nautilus.
No, Sean got a lot of moves. Gotta love my boy.
Yeah, and then
all out.
And then Supa, the all metal shit, or the all steel shit now.
All steel shit. Yeah.
All steel shit. And then you know, probably one of the best is the late and great Jason Strife, man. Yeah.
Jason Christ Superstar, we used to call him.
I just remember, what was it? We were watching it was like one of his greatest like DVDs like so far, and it was like Magnum Wrestling in California, and he's like, "What the crap? There's like 7 people here."
Oh, which one? Where they were wrestling in the desert? That one was...
I don't know. It was somewhere. He was wrestling somewhere in California, and it was an outdoor show. And he's like, "What is this? Like 7 people out here?" But
yeah, it was like some random show in Apple Valley, and I think it was with David Clark. David
Clark.
I remember that he was really pushing hard. He wanted Magnum to have 2 branches. He wanted to have the Iowa one, and then he wanted to have one on the West Coast. And we pushed and pushed, and he pushed and pushed until eventually he was just like, you know what, we're just going to focus here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. In a lot of really fun shows. Okay. So before I get you to tell us some of your favorite stories, which involve, and I know a lot of the Duke Cornell lore already, which is, you know, it comes with the territory.
Yep.
But one of my favorites is the animal Ray Hogan.
Ray Hogan.
Ray Hogan. Is he still going to Magnum shows?
So I haven't seen him at Magnum in maybe 12 years.
Oh my gosh.
Because originally when Magnum was running shows, it was in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and he was just like a few blocks away. So it was easy for them. I don't know who, but he has a transport system. It was easy for them to move him over to Council Bluffs to watch the shows. And so the animal, Ray Hogan, to give everybody insight, he's a great fan. I loved him being there. I never knew where his shirt went. But he always came in with a shirt, and it was gone. If you watch the old footage from those shows, Magnum Wrestling out of Council Bluffs, you will see that he is a very enthusiastic man. And he is in people's faces and screaming, and he does not have a shirt, ever. He comes in with one, and he even has a coat when it's cold.
Yeah.
But the shirt is gone, and he is red and just screaming and having a great time in this Eagles club. And he was there all the way until we moved everything into Omaha, and they never crossed the river with them. There was an anniversary show where it was like we were getting special arrangements put together for him, to where it's like he has to be at this one because we haven't seen him in forever. And he was the legend. He challenged the wrestlers. He beat the ring announcer Pete beat him arm wrestling contest 2 out of 3 falls. And that was totally unprompted. We just had the table and we just said, you know what, we're gonna do this. Welcome to intermission, baby.
Yeah.
But no, the animal Ray Hogan was great. There's even footage of where it was like I'm coming out for whatever, I'm high-fiving people, and he's in my face, and I'm just like, I don't even know where this guy's shirt went. It's been gone for hours. You know he's cold, but he's not giving up. Like he was involved. The animal Ray Hogan was by all means, he was the staple in Magnum before the rest of us were, and we were the ones falling down. But I went for the Ray Hogan experience.
Oh, I was all there for the Ray Hogan experience, because what was it? He would come in, yeah. Like, first of all, he would lose his shirt by intermission, and you don't know where that went.
No clue.
And
it was every show though.
It was every show. He was ready to go. Like, he was ready to like go in. And one of my favorite moments was, I think it was one of the very few Magnum shows that I went to. He like brought like a ski mask because he thought he'd be a Billy Badass with a ski mask on. Loses his shirt about halfway through. And one of my favorite memories is he like, okay, so Joey Anderson, the Joe Dozer himself, goes out, you know, he has to powder out to the ring. And of course, Ray's right there to greet him, you know, red face and all. I just remember, you know, just Joey's just like, get out of here. Like, just shoves him. And then, like, he tries going after Joey. And like the security's like, all right, Ray, you need to go back to your seat. And then he just calmly walks back to his seat and sits down. And then he's just like with his mechanic's gloves, you know, just like,
yep.
Oh my God. Yeah. The type of fans that would be at those shows, they were pretty legendary.
Oh man, they're great. You know, I'm all for the live experience. I love seeing what crazy shit people will do when you put them all in a room and it's like, hey, we're here to have fun. Let's see what happens. And some people go, yeah, we're here to have fun. And then Ray just bails on his shirt, but he'll wear nipples out, ski mask on, gloves. Like, we know who you are. But you know what, Ray? Absolutely, man.
Oh man, yeah, one of the best. But then again, I think there's several wrestlers that stand out in your career, and they're from. We'll get to the ones for the right reasons here shortly, but for the but for the funny reasons, like Hollywood, James Cavender, and then there was like JB something, the angriest man in the universe. Oh, yeah. I know, I'm turning red in the face because I'm thinking, and of course Tim Rhodes, and I keep on, like, every now and then, like, I'll do a Tim Rhodes impression. It's like, you know, the t-shirt design, you know, about here, about there, row the bell, sun the sky, and Tim Rhodes.
That would be it.
That'd be accurate. Okay.
That would be accurate. Yeah. No, this is about we'll roll right into the sunset book, Tim Rhodes. So we're going to start with James Cavender.
Okay.
So he early on, James Cavender, he wanted to do the Hollywood Hulk Hogan gimmick. Problem was, he had stringy blonde hair and a stringy body of all of 130 pounds, and he swore up and down he was going to be Hollywood. And he was just going to rip off the Hollywood gimmick. And it never panned out for him. He usually ended up getting beat up and saying Hollywood, but he couldn't say Hollywood. It was Hollywood. What was it? Hollywood. I don't know what backwoods accent that was, but he could never get actual Hollywood. My time with him was kind of limited, and it was a while ago. So my stories with him aren't super great right now. Watching him beat up was always great. And then the angriest man in the universe, man of 1,000 gimmicks. I will always love Casey. I'm not 100% sure what he did. I know he was El Tigre Gordo for a while. I think he was Kiki Bullock, where he was going to be JJ Bullock's sister, Kiki.
Okay, Kiki.
And you know what? He actually got on a show. So there's for guests that don't know, there's an all women's wrestling promotion that's called Shimmer, and they had a pre-show that was called Sparkle. Well, there was. It's all women except for Sparkle. Like, they'll throw some girls, they'll throw guys on there every once in a while. And Kiki Bullock was the new gimmick at the time, so they put Kiki in the 6-man tag. And there was a lot of women that were really mad that he cross-dressed to be on the pre-show. and he got a whole new gimmick, and like it popped the boys. He was just the fun fact about Casey, he travels around with the wardrobe from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So there's just infinite room for all of these gimmicks and all of whatever you need Casey to be. If you need him to be a luchador, he'll put the El Tigre Gordo on. If you need him to be like a real angry guy, I mean, as far as what he can do to his capabilities, there's JJ Bullock. If you need him to look kind of like a homeless mountain man, he's got the Moondog gimmick, and he'll break out the bone in his jean shorts. And I think that's what he is mostly now, is he does the Moondog Bernard.
Moondog Bernard, okay.
Yeah, and Casey, we joke about this a lot. There's a clip floating around somehow, and I think it's just the proof that we're all within the Matrix, and this is all just a simulation. There's a clip where Casey takes a suplex, right? So again, for those unanointed, that's where you grab a guy and you're going to throw yourself back and take him with you.
Mm-hmm.
His feet never left the ground, but he ended up behind the guy.
What?
We're still trying to understand it. This clip is maybe 14 years old, and we still don't understand it because it looks like his feet never left, but he was on his back. So we're trying to piece this one together. Like, we bring it up constantly. And it's like, I don't know how he did that, but he defies physics. I often joke that he'll live forever because there is no opposite of what Casey is, because I believe that's what death is to where there has to be an antithesis to what you are. And there just isn't anything that balances if Casey goes. Like, he's the pendulum on what life clings on. Okay. And so he's going to see everything and then never die and be haunted with all the memories. And so that's Casey. And then let's see. Tim Rhodes. So I'm convinced maybe a Terminator. And you probably remember this. So there was a show, Over the Top Battle Royal. You got to throw your guy over the top to get him out and they're eliminated.
Yeah.
I watched the top rope break on this man when someone threw him over. Now that's scary business.
Yeah.
You're upside down and the rope is gone. So now you have no safety net. So he gets thrown over the top and he lands square on his head. And there's footage of me watching it where I stand up out of my chair and I go, what?
What?
Because I watched this dude just in. And I was like, that's it. I watched my first death.
At least instant brain damage.
Yeah, you would have thought. But this man took that, stood up and went, okay, and then walked like nothing happened.
What?
Just walked it off. And immediately I run to the back and was like, Tim, are you okay? And he just, oh, I'm good. Nothing. Unfazed. And that's not like a concussed voice. This is how he dialogues with you. So I'm not even making fun of how he sounded. That's just his voice. Oh yeah. So he just powered through it, and I was like, dude, you landed square on the, and it was the linoleum floor, so it was like it was enforced, and he just boom. Okay. Walked away. Nothing. Unfazed.
Oh my Lanta. Oh my God.
and I stole this from him, and I will cherish it until the early onset dementia takes it from me. Mm-hmm. There was one match. He comes back. It was a tag match, and he'd been getting a little reckless with the guy, and so he receded him. That means returned the favor and got a little reckless with him. Yeah. And Tim comes to the back, and he's not real thrilled about it. And the guy's explaining to him, like, hey, so you know why I did all of that out there, right? And he's, oh, yeah, I get it. It's fine. And then the guy walks away, and I'm sitting probably about 4 feet from Tim. And I am just, whatever, I'm doing my tape, not a big deal. And I just hear, ugh, fat piece of bitch. And I had to take a second to just digest to where I was, did he just call a grown man a fat piece of bitch? And I was like, no, maybe I heard that wrong. And so I'm going back to my lacing, whatever. little yoga at the time to try and open up the hips, and then I hear, stupid piece of dick. And I was like, so did I hear it wrong the first time, or is this a new one? So now, fat piece of bitch or stupid piece of dick is in my vernacular. I'll be an honest thief. Sin Bodhi taught me that. You got to be a thief if you're going to do this business. So Tim, I've never said it out loud to you in 15 years. I definitely stole that from you. Stupid piece of bitch and fat piece of dick. That is all. That is all you.
So, to expand upon stupid piece of bitch, we here in Texas started to elaborate. Like, we started to adapt it. So, like, whenever I see like Phil Noir or Skip Terrific, that's what he was when he started out, or El Gringo Loco, we would always address each other as like stupid piece of bitch, and we'd pop every single time. It's infectious.
Yeah, great. So there's the guys out of St. Louis, Davey Vega and Matt Fitchett, the besties. I wrestled them in Ohio. We collectively, between those two, me and Toad, which his nickname is Toad because when he was a kid he couldn't spell his middle name of Todd. So it just looks like Toad. So
oh no.
Hey Brian. So,
hi Brian.
Throw everybody else under the bus too. But we collectively maybe had 7 hours of sleep between the four of us. And there was something that came up where I was like, oh, you fat piece of bitch. And Fitchett stops and he goes, hang on. I like that. So anytime that I get these boys, it's every time I see Vega, it's, oh, what's up, you fat piece of bitch? And it's, a piece of dick. Oh, get over here.
Fat piece of dick.
Oh, it's golden.
Oh, so good. But yeah, that got infected in the Texas circles too, where it was, good. And they would always look at me because like I was the one that initially told them about the stupid piece of bitch, and not the fat piece of dick, but of course the stupid piece of bitch. And Rick was like, so Rick Elsey, who's been on the show a few times, he was like, that would be a perfect t-shirt for somebody. Just stupid piece of bitch. Never caught on, but just saying out there for the t-shirt makers, there's your idea.
Yeah, I want my commission on that though.
Yeah.
I stole it from Tim and he didn't do anything with it. So
yes. It's your gimmick now. It's got it. It's well, and then speaking of, we did help you get. I did help you get the Texas ones. That was an adventure.
Yeah, twice actually. We got down to Texas. Yeah. The first one was pretty good. I remember really getting in a scrap with the referee. Pops.
Oh, Tony E-Step.
Yeah, he. Oh man, So I knew we were new in the area, and like there was a lot of hype coming in with us, right? Because I'm sure you.
Oh, we had the League of Liger at the time.
Yeah, we had the League of Liger, and then it was, we were just fresh faces, and it seems like, and so in all of my travels, and it makes sense to where it's like when a new guy comes in, there's cliques, and it's like, hey, you're not going to blend with everybody right away, right? Because it's like, what's so great about him? Why'd they pay all this money for this guy to come in? I ran into it in Oklahoma, but I got over that pretty quick. Mm-hmm. Ran into it in the New England area as a whole, to where it was, everybody kind of, there's several schools up that way, and they like, we know what we train like, we know what they train like, we don't know who the guy is. And then, you got guys like me that come rolling in. They're like, I don't even know who this dude is. And then Slick Wagner Brown goes, oh, I know this guy. Oh, so Slick recognizes me. I'm doing something right. Mm-hmm. But like everybody's kind of clicked off. And when we got down there, it felt kind of the same. And there's no disrespect. I get it. There up here, we got our clicks too. When we got guys coming in, typically we don't welcome them in right away until we see if they can work. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of what it was. And we got there, and we kind of got there a little late because we were coming all the way from Iowa.
Yeah.
And Brian was panicking and changing in the car. And then he pulled over because his balls were out when we drove by a cop. And I was like, unless the cop was looking over your window I don't think he saw your balls. So we got there. Didn't really get to like chum up with too many folks. I wrestled A-Will that first time.
Yeah, A-Will.
Will's great. It was like day off with him. He was good. I liked A-Will. And Pops, I didn't get a word with him. But like, if anybody's seen any of my stuff, or if you go back and look at any of it, I run my mouth a lot. I like to fuck with whoever's out there as far as fans, rap. I'll whisper dumb shit in your ear while we're wrestling. Just like, it entertains me. So I'm out there, whatever. I'm on the outside. And he's giving me the count. And I kept calling him Pappy. He didn't like that at all. I had no idea that Pappy was off the table. Because at a certain point, I was like, I will get in when I feel like it, Pappy. And he goes, it's fucking Pops. And I went, whoa. All right. I don't need 2 matches at once. Let me get back in, whatever. And then every chance I got to deal with him, I kept calling him Pappy, and he was getting really mad. I did not know we don't call Pops Pappy. Second time we were down there, it was great. Another Pops reference on that one. So it was me. Jason Strife, we mentioned him a little bit ago, and then Sean, not a lot of moves. So where we get there, and the thought was, we're gonna have this tag gauntlet for the tag titles, and it was gonna be those 2 in it, and it was like, wow, you guys, chance for out-of-state titles, that's a pretty big deal, right? Especially just a couple silly Iowa boys at the time. And I remember Rick got in front of all of us and was like, we were gonna have a tag team title gauntlet, but Pops got arrested last night in the Belt's apartment. So we are tag team champions, and we could not quit laughing at the concept that because the referee was in, we don't get a chance at tag titles. And I was howling, and that joke has gone on for years.
Oh my god!
So I made sure to come up to screaming back to the Midwest, guys, you'll never believe it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And the second time was pretty eventful too, if I remember correctly. One that was kind of like the show that kind of derailed me from being like a wrestler, because a lot of stuff backstage or whatever. And but afterwards was hilarious because we all went back to, well, was that, no, okay, all right, was it the first time or the second time? Because I know Sean brought up the goat.
Yes, second time was definitely with the goat.
Okay, the second time was with the goat.
Super drunk.
And that was if you look at one of the Jason Strife DVDs, there's a bonus features part, and in the bonus features, it is grease with the meatballs. it is drunk Jason Strife dancing with just 3 fat chicks, and it's grease in grease with the meatballs. But he was getting smashed off this drink called Kryptonite. And he was just all about it.
It was fucking terrible. It killed that man.
And I remember we took him home, and I think I was putting the car away or something, and I come in, and he has his pants down, just butthole in the air. And I'm like, okay, all right, maybe he's just drunk. I silently walk past, and he starts cracking up. He's just like, I gave you the goat. And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell's going on.
I'll paint a picture.
Yeah.
It's late at night. We just shut down the bar. Nate looks at me and he goes, I'm gonna put my balls out. So Strife is chest down on the floor, has his stuff tucked between his legs, ass out toward the door, and he's giggling. I'm like, okay, well, we'll just see where today goes. And we hear the door open, and Sean and I are pretending to be asleep at this point. We hear the sudden stop, And then it sounded like you decided you were going to start sorting your bills in the middle of the night because you're like trying to that was not look at a grown man's asshole out in the air. And then it was, you went to the other end of the house and you're that's Strife just giggling about all of this. And then you come back and he stops giggling for a second. You're like, yeah, I see it. And then he starts laughing harder.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was like, maybe he just sleeps like that, you know, and I just no sell it. Like, instead of like, what? Oh my God, what the fuck? You know, like, I was just like, okay, all right. That's how he sleeps.
If I was a burglar and I saw a dude's asshole in the air when I broke into the house, I'd probably leave too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was like, it's my house. I just no sold it and just started shuffling around. I mean, I don't even know. Like, and then, but before that, and it was during the whole grease with the meatballs thing. All of us were in the Piranha Room. Now it doesn't exist anymore, so you'll get a kick out of this. So now, Midnight Rodeo / the Piranha Room is a church. Yeah, it's like they knocked down Paradise and put up and they put in a parking lot, but it's now a church.
So that den of sin is a church now?
It is.
All right.
Kale and I talked about that the other day, and we were like, so, like, how many people did the deed in those bathrooms for it to become a church? Like, oh my, it was bad. But we went into the Piranha Room, and we're having drinks, and and there was this couple that was dancing up on one of the platforms, one of the high platforms, and the guy was handsy. Like, he was like all he was exposing women chest, just for lack of a better word. And Sean is like, dumb man, like how Sean is. He's so loud. He's like, dumb man, I love Texas.
You can't help it.
I love Texas. And it was so good.
I remember that couple dancing in basically it was like a go-go cage because there was like bars or whatever. Yeah. And this dude is like really handsy about it. And she is just like, I'm here for the time of my life. And then Nate Strife is just standing at her with his drink in his hand going, boo, you whore, as this whole thing is going down. But like the music's so loud, so all you can just see is just this 5'7" guy screaming at someone who's just touching a girl. And I was like, this is Texas. This is great.
This is Texas. Yeah, because and I remember, what was it? Amarillo Elite Wrestling was not long for this world, because as soon as hard as it hit for at least all of us, it went away like afterwards. Like, it was pretty bad. But Squared Circle Pro came around, and now I feel old. Like, I was backstage in that first show, and now I'm like, how the hell did I become like a play-by-play commentator? Like, yeah. Rick's like, well, you have a media background, you could be able to do this, since you can't take, you can't fall like the other boys anymore. So
okay, can we talk about that ring in Texas?
Sure.
That bump box,
the bump box of death.
Well, that one was Satan's asshole. I hate falling in that. I've fallen in some really shitty rings. So, okay, for those that don't know how a ring is structured, so you have metal cross members, right? And then you have wood planks that go the opposite way with padding, so you have a little bit of give. The bump box was more metal to go under the railings, so there wasn't this. So everything hurt. There was like, I don't know why we just didn't replace boards. Again, not my monkeys, not my circus.
Right.
But I tell you what, it had to have been just about as much of a cost to weld this box of death under the framing itself and then go fall on it. And I was like, this is terrible. And then you got Will where he's like, yeah, I hit a tombstone, so like you're going upside down. Well, that's cool. Great. And then I was in there with Rex Reed, and there's this suplex machine that he is. I'm like, I'm gonna end up on my head several times in this ring that does not give a fuck. This is awesome. So that bump box was a creation designed to hurt people. So it was probably for the best that if you fell in that, to never do any of this shit. Because if you think that any ring fall feels like that, your skeleton will never survive.
No, it didn't. But I do want you to elaborate on something, because on the way down to the first show in Texas, you guys ran across the ass end of Kansas. And of course there's the wind towers and they have these red lights. So you're thinking Skynet and Terminator. Oh, and Skynet. Then you run across Rex Reed.
Yes. So, okay. We didn't know that. So like from Iowa, it's all flat land, whatever. Mm-hmm. We don't, there's like a couple towers here and there where you'll get your blinking red lights in the middle of the night. And it's like, there's a few, you line in the highway. This was a field. If you weren't paying attention, it all lit up at once and you swore it was a drone strike. You didn't know what was going on, but it was Skynet right there. And then Rex Reed, who is the doomsday prepper that he is still, and we're sitting here telling him about Skynet, and he's like, oh, it's real. We were joking about it. He was giving us the heads up that like we weren't just seeing shit. So yeah, that was an adventure. And every time that we go through the whole south end of Kansas, anytime that I was going through there for Oklahoma, I was like, this is terrible. I hate going through here. This is not great.
Yeah. Yeah. And then not to mention like Rex had like, the death from above, the back body splash.
Yes.
Oh. And he did that at Dragon Gate.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. If that doesn't make you feel old.
Oh, well, what was it? Like, I think you told me this story because you got it from Shingo or someone that Shingo was close to. So, like, for background information, like, Shingo, like, knew Rex from when they shared wrestling shows in San Antonio. So I think that's how Shingo knew Rex. And I think it was you that told me this. It was Rex was working Dragon Gate USA, and I was at that show, and I mean that was an insane trip. And it's after Shingo has this bonus match with Bryan Danielson, which is in between when he got let go by the Fed and when he was brought back by SummerSlam, and 40 minutes of like MMA moves and elbows and just strong style that would make Kenta Kobashi proud. Shingo goes to the back and looks at Rex and is like, you like Pancake Man. You scary.
Yeah, that was Nate had talked to Shingo on that one. Strike Shingo and pass that over to you. Pancake Man. You Pancake Man. Pancake.
Okay, so that was okay. All right. So Strife brought that up. Okay, all right.
Yeah, he was trying to get in. I don't want to speak incorrectly, but no, he was trying to get in with that, and I think he had some sort of connection with Gabe Sapolsky, which big deal in the network of everything. Mm-hmm. Try not to speak too much inside baseball because I don't know how many people follow with wrestling.
Right.
But, yeah, Gabe Sapolsky, he's a guy that you want in your corner. We'll put it that way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there was something with that where Nate was circling around with Dragon Gate, and it was an almost thing. Unfortunately, with wrestling, there's a lot of almost.
There is.
So, but yeah, that was from Nate, where it was like, oh, pancake.
You like Pancake Man? You scary.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know we went down our nostalgia lanes, to get us get us warmed up, but talk about some additional stories. Cause you told me about the guy that tried to mess with you by running over a dog.
Yeah. I still don't get this joke. So, all right. There was another adventure where we were down in Texas. It was it was just like 5 years ago. Not Red River. Gosh, it was another NWA promotion though.
Okay.
And we went down there because it was the Good Brothers were running a seminar, and I'd worked with Gallows before, and I was like, oh, kind of got it in. We'll see what happens. Blah blah blah. It was a good time, great experience. I was the only place in like 2019, 2020 where you could find a steak and a giant ass baked potato, and not just like a steak, but like a steak, and you could get it for $15.
Yeah,
like that was a hell of a meal. And we're like, oh. So it was me, Strife, Donnie Pepper Cricket, shout out Donnie.
Yep.
I got a funny story to talk about with him at some point here, but so there was those three. There was those two, me, and then Brixton Nash and Jameson McGregor. Now, Brixton Nash and Jameson McGregor, this was their first year. This is where they're like really trying to feel some stuff out. Like they want to get all the advice they can. They're super hungry, right? And they're still hungry. They're still great. They still bug me for information because I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Mm-hmm. And so they're just eager. They're good dudes. And I'm sitting here and we have our dinner. Strife wrestling the show, and we're on our way back because we signed up for this really dumb death run where we're starting in Texas and then we're going to end up in South Dakota the next day for Nick Dinsmore, Eugene.
Yeah. All the way up in Sioux Falls. Wow.
All the way up in Sioux Falls. We were going to have to turn it and burn it through the night. And so on this trip, on the way down to Texas, I was talking about how like there's just no one does any really good ribs because it's just, I don't know if it's the culture or if it's not socially acceptable, whatever it is, but no one's really ribbing with anybody anymore.
Yeah.
So, and it was always like, it just helped pass the time on the roads. Cause there were times where I was out on the road, 4 or 5 days a week, and we needed to kill time to where I was like, okay, so we're in the gym. That's great. Now we got to eat. Okay. Now I got to look at you for 6 hours in a car. Okay. Now we're falling down. Okay. Now we got to go get to the room and I got to deal with your snoring because you forgot your CPAP. All right. That's great.
Oh no.
And then we're back to on the road again. So like we were running and gunning and was just trying to find ways to pop us and keep each other entertained. But no one was really doing that. But I suppose it's because schedules were different from like when I started versus like when they're starting. Mm-hmm. So I was sitting there talking about there's no good ribs anymore. And we're on our way back from Texas after I was telling this about like all the great ribs in the whatevers. And I'd fallen asleep. We're on the interstate coming up through Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. Jameson he's driving. I doze off. I wake up just in time to hear, oh shit! And he hits this dog.
No!
He hits a dog on the interstate. So it wasn't like this dog just kind of hoved out into the highway and was like, what's that? Mm-hmm. It's just like someone kicked the dog out of a car and he fucking boom. There was no question it didn't make it. Like that was kind of it.
Oh my gosh.
And I sat there after this and it was quiet for a while because all of us woke up and none of us wanted to see a dog die. Well, I didn't think all of us wanted to see a dog die.
JMO had no. Heck no.
And I'm sitting there and it was just, that wasn't a real funny joke, JMO. And he's like, I wasn't joking. Oh, so you seriously meant to run over the dog? No, I'm not. And so for the last 5 years, I've been ribbing this kid where it was like, I don't understand what was so funny about hitting that dog. Mm. And he's like, I don't know either. At the time, it seemed like a good idea. I'm like, you hit a dog. And I made sure to call him out on it at my roast where we all sat and made fun of me for an hour and a half. And then I had my chance. And I was like, hey, remember that terrible joke where you ran over a dog? In a room full of our peers. And it's like, you ran over a dog, JMO. So that was, I still don't understand the joke. I've been thinking about it for 5 years. It keeps me up sometimes. But he ran over a dog.
He ran over a dog.
Yeah.
See, what's so crazy is, you talk about ribs and just, goofing with your friends. That's kind of what changed, I feel like, from when I kind of started dipping my toes in the pool, about 2010 to now, where like everybody gets along. I mean, and it's a good thing. Like, that's why I really like is everybody gets along, especially in the Squared Circle Pro locker room. Yeah. But there's no practical jokes. it's not any but because they all train together and they all travel with one another too. And I was like, man, I remember all the in jokes, like one of my favorites, and I wasn't part of this. Well, actually I was part of one, but it was going down the road, and if somebody fell asleep, you'd flip them off and take a picture of you flipping them off while they were sleeping, which was hilarious. I mean, it's harmless, but it was so good.
Yeah. Oh, that was on the light scale of some of the ribs.
Yeah.
So I have one that Honest Thief. I stole it from Eric Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So again, little inside baseball. There's a thing called a gig. So like in matches, it's a little blade, and you just kind of give it a little tap tap taparoo, and then I'm bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
So I stole this from Cannon. There was one battle royal. He had a guy in a corner, and he started dicking around in his waistband, and he goes, "Hey, hold still, or I'm gonna hit the artery." And he has the corner. It's a corner of a PBR box. So anybody that knows Cannon knows that that's just his poison of choice. So he just corner off the box, and he's got a guy in the corner, and he's just dotting him in the head. Oh. And he goes, "Not enough color." And now he's just punching this kid in the head, pretending it's a gig.
Oh no!
And you hear this kid, he's going, "Please, Mr. Cannon, stop." And so I took that as an opportunity to go, that's funny. So now when I was in Battle Royals, and I made sure that there was an annual event where I would do it, and I've taken it everywhere. It's down in Oklahoma. I had that one was a good one. But I've now had people in the corner when I go, and I dot them, and I go, shit. And then I walk away. I'm like, that's too much blood. I got to go. And so I walk away from it, and then I'll tell some guy, hey, go check on him and tell him that he's bleeding. And then some guy will come over and like put a couple to him and be like, brother, you're bleeding everywhere. And you get to watch this guy do this, trying to find where all this blood is coming from. It only backfired on me once because I used to have dreads and I had beads in my dread,
mm-hmm.
right? So there was one, it was whatever, we're doing it. I have a guy in the corner. It's like his first handful of matches, so it was easy target. And I'm like, hold still or I'm going to hit the artery. And I dot him, and I go, shit, that was deep. And I back off, and he's like trying to find it and trying to eliminate himself at the same time. Like, I'm going to get out of this match because I've been told I'm bleeding everywhere. And so, and like, he's trying to eliminate himself, and I'll pull him back in, and I'll go, what are you doing? And I'll start hitting him again. And I'm like, you're losing your color. We got to get more color in this match. Like, acting like I'm a fucking lunatic, which, sure, there is a battle royal. There's no reason to be bleeding like that. And so I back off, whatever. And then JMO, the dog assassin, he comes and he punches me in the side of the head. It was one of his first handful of matches too. And he pushes a bead into my skull. And now I'm actually bleeding.
Oh no.
And as I'm actually bleeding, I'm looking at this guy who thinks he's bleeding, and I'm laughing maniacally because he's still trying to find the blood that isn't there. So there's me with blood all down my face going, It backfired, but it went like the best way possible.
It did, yeah. It sounds like it.
Finally, he gets eliminated after I've had people come check up on him, and I was like, hey, just tell him he's bleeding everywhere, man. And one guy stood in the middle of the ring and went, oh my God, you're bleeding. And then went back to whatever he was doing. I was like, so clearly we're not taking any of this seriously. That's great. And he finally gets eliminated. And then he wants to talk to me after. He's like, you think it's funny to tell me I was bleeding everywhere as I have blood running down my face? I was like, yes. Yes, I
did. Straight face.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I thought it was hilarious, and I walked away because I wasn't. It's all in good fun. He's not the first guy I've pulled it on, and he wasn't the last guy I pulled it on. There was one in Minnesota, Minot, North Dakota. There we go.
Okay.
And it was a kid. He just took the seminar. He just learned how to get eliminated. Right. He just learned, and they're like, okay, well, you got some promise. We'll get you in the battle royal, whatever. get him in the corner, and I'm dotting him a couple times. Joey Anderson comes over and he's like, Jesus Christ, you sociopath, quit making him bleed. And he's now freaking out. And he's trying to find, he's like, can someone please eliminate me? I was like, yeah, we got you, buddy. So Joey and I gave him the double over.
Oh.
And you watched him run to the back doing this, trying to find it. And it was, ribs are great, guys. Like they keep you on your toes. It's good fun.
They do.
That, you know, some of them get taken too far. I'm not asking you to do like Jake Roberts where you shit in some guy's shoe and come with shave. You know, I'm not asking for anything like that, but like, don't be afraid to just fuck with each other a little bit. This business, and there's very few things that I agree with Al Snow on. This business was built on guys where if there wasn't professional wrestling, they'd be in jail or dead.
Yeah,
they're not
dead or in prison.
Social consumption. And so, like, just this kind of stuff is healthy. It's fine. It's just jokes.
Yeah. Yep. It's wrestling is fun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's got to be fun because otherwise it's just, okay, all right, you know, we do something for, 7 to 20 minutes and we get paid. Yay, Yeah,
and it's, you're sitting in the car for all this time. You're sitting in the venue for all this time. You're trying to find food. You can sit there and be miserable, right? Like you can sit there and say that, man, wrestling's taken all this time from me, and you can be one of those grizzled, salty vets that everyone talks about, and it's no one likes being around them because they're just assholes about it because they traveled roads and they didn't have any fun. Man, if you're gonna spend your life doing it, you might as well make it fun.
Yeah.
Sure, you'll get ribs pulled on you. That's fine. Just rib them back. The rule is it has to be better than the rib that you got. So you can't, it's some extreme reference because I'm, as much as I'm a Terry Funk fan, I'm also a Jake Roberts fan, and I heard all his story. As much as it's an extreme example, if a guy shits in your shoe, don't go shit in his shoe because then you don't look clever.
No.
But if you do something to where it's like guy shits in your shoe and then you shit in their shoe but cover it with shaving cream, and then they have to try and get the shaving cream out, and now they have to get a handful of shit and shave. Then you just have to be more extreme. It doesn't have to be bodily fluids. Like don't cancel me, guys. I'm already out of wrestling anyway. But I'm not condoning shitting in anyone's shoe. I'm just saying if ribs are good, I think it's something that needs to come back because otherwise, what fun are we really having?
Right. Yeah, and I think the other one is Sean Nautilus chasing me around with a belt, and he was doing his best Terry Funk impression.
Oh, yes.
Lawler! I remember St. Louis. He chased me around with the belt. Lawler! Forever! Oh, man. So do you have some good... were you able to run into Terry Funk a few times?
No, I never did. I remember Matty Starr. He used to talk about one that he had with Terry, and that stuck with me. To where it was something for the Hall of Fame up here in Iowa. And Terry was trying to run over chops with kids. And he got in the ring, and Matty hit him with a chop. And then Terry's like, no, God damn it, hit me like you mean it. And he's just wearing his hand out on Terry, who's well into his 50s at this point. And Matty is just lighting him up. And he's like, I can't hit you harder. My hand hurts. He's like, well, you're giving it your best, son. And he just dog walked him while getting hit. It was just like, now, God damn it, hit me like you mean it.
Oh, man. Did I tell you of the last time I saw Terry? And it was the final year that West Texas A&M was playing in the older Kimbrough Memorial Stadium. It's converted to a high school football stadium now, but he was doing the coin toss between WT and a big arch rival, Eastern New Mexico, and we were he takes a phone call from my friend Cale Steed leading up to the game because he's doing the coin toss, and Cale's like, "Hey Terry, how's it going? Let me grab some quotes from you if you don't mind." And no problem, Cale. And let me see if I could do this correctly and do it some justice. But it's like, Terry, talk about, being able to play in Memorial, Kimbrough Memorial Stadium. We go over there. We go over there, kick their ass, and they come back here and they kick our ass. And he was just going back and forth about his football playing days, which was great. And then we see him, and I was hearing rumors that he wasn't doing very hot. And granted, he still had mileage to go, but he comes in and he is like a boss. Comes walking in with like a New England Patriots Super Bowl champions t-shirt and a fanny pack, and he does the coin toss. We get pictures, it's all well and good. And I come up to Terry and I'm like, Terry, you look really good. You lie like a dog. And I'm like, Terry, I don't. That's all he said. He walked away from me, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So I lie like a dog.
Well,
it's
one chance to talk when you lied. How fucking dare you?
Yeah. Well, not as bad as the time where I was popping. I was like, oh my God, I was very excited to see Terry. And my mom takes a few minutes, like she's behind me, and she walks up to the table, because he had a table at the Tri-State Fair or whatever. He was selling t-shirts, he was selling, merchandise, what have you. Or as Pete Schnapps would say, the gimmick table. And I was very excited to be able to see Terry in person. And my mom comes up, and he just calmly looks over, and he's like, "Ma'am, your boy is a wrestling freak." Yeah. And I ended up getting along with Dennis. So in what was it, Beyond the Mat, like Dennis kept on complaining, "Well, Terry, I'm not booked for the show." "Yes, you are. You're booked on the show." But Terry, I'm not booked. And he ends up getting booked. I can't be at the show. I'm not booked, and it is ridiculous. I guess it was a running joke between the two, but oh my God. But I ended up getting along with Dennis really well.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
He was a good dude. He was really good. Goodness gracious. Okay. How I decided to not decide to take, to fall anymore was Squared Circle Pro. And I think it was year 2 or whatever. I was trying to be a manager, and I was like, I don't want to be a manager anymore. I don't know. Let's kill myself off, because it's not going very well. I was trying to be too cute, and don't be too cute in wrestling, kids. Duke will tell you that. Don't be too cute. And I tried to be too cute. So I was like, hey, Rick, let's just kill me off and we'll see what happens. So I end up being with Brandon McGregor in a feud with Damian Blood. And I'm supposed to be to where, Brandon leaves me out to dry. And I'm trying to, try to get heat, try to get people to boo me. And I'm trying to just make fun of Damian, because he's on his back in the middle of the ring, and people aren't reacting to me. And I'm like, you people need to boo me, boo me. So that was an easy way to get booed. And the spot was supposed to be where I was trying to antagonize the crowd, and then Damian would shoot up. And then and then it would carry on to the next part. So I did the whole, took off the sunglasses. Oh, I feel something's off. And then I see him, and then he puts me into the blue thunder driver, and where he sits out the pile driver. And, I take it, and it was a little crunchy. And then the crowd was like, take his shoes. and Damian goes over me, and he's like, I am so sorry. And then he does it to me again. I'm like, I just nod my head. I'm like, I'm fine. And he gives me the Blue Thunder driver one more time, and then he takes my shoes. But yeah, that Lubbock crowd, man, they were bloodthirsty. They wanted me dead, and for all the wrong reasons. So
they wanted your shoes too.
They wanted my shoes too.
Take his head and his shoes.
Yeah. Yep. And I just remember I was like, man, my back hurts a little bit. And Damien's like, yeah, those pile drivers are a little crunchy. And I was like, yeah, I'm not falling down ever again.
I'll blame you.
Yeah.
I figured it out. It's like, oh, maybe the next one won't feel so bad. It doesn't.
It doesn't. But
I keep that they're gonna feel better. They don't. They never do.
They never do. No, they don't. Like they hurt so bad. But anywho, some of your favorite places that you've been to. I know there's plenty of them, but do share.
So as far as like special places in my heart,
special places, yeah.
Yeah, there's always going to be Omaha because I helped with building a lot of that. Minot, North Dakota, again, same kind of thing, helped with building that scene. I would say, definitely in New England, it would be Providence or Woonsocket.
Okay.
Just because I was over there for about 4 months, and I was living up that way, and I was really kind of where I was able to just kind of click in with some folks, and they let me come in and train some of the guys, and I was like, oh yeah, this is great. I just genuinely felt accepted really fast with that crew. Shout out over to Showcase. They're great guys over there. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wrestling for a Cause. They've always taken great care of me. Tim, he's great, promoter over that way. Tim, he's been fantastic to me. I got to wrestle Silas Young, which was a big thing, where I was chasing that forever. Jack Vaughn, I got a match with Scotty Too Hottie. Like, I actually got to do some really cool stuff down that way. Stuff that I was like, man, this wrestling's kind of wild, because like there's guys from all over where we're gonna wrestle. Like Silas was over in Milwaukee at the time, and I was living just south of Omaha, and we wrestled in Tulsa. Like, there's just for the fact that two guys that don't even live in the same area, it really came full circle for me. Where it's like wrestling's crazy this way. But yeah, those were like the big that were just special. Nashville was a lot of fun for me. I'd only wrestled there a couple times, but I got good buddies over that way, so I was really pretty pumped to be over there. I mean, Iowa, I started there. There's nice little pockets where things were good. Yeah. And I don't have any animosity with the places that I wrestled over there. It's just that, I grew up in Iowa. So there's not a special town in Iowa other than like I'm born and raised in Fort Dodge.
Yep. Both of us.
Yeah. So it's like, this is what I know is Iowa. But like to go out on the road and like my home's away from home. That was what I would say. It was pretty great. I've enjoyed a lot of my travels, but those are like the big where I was like, if I could go somewhere, this is pretty fun. Yeah.
I know I tried to like advocate and try to bring you back to like West Texas a couple of times. Along with like a Squared Circle Pro, where I think like, the Copperhead would thrive in Lubbock. Lubbock's actually like gained a lot of momentum. I mean, Squared Circle Pro has been going since 2012, so over 10 years. You take away 2020, and yeah, it's been going strong for quite some time. But what are some places that you would have been like, okay, I would have loved to just see what that's all about?
I know we talked about Square Circle early on in like its infancy, and I was like, yeah, that would have been fun, because we'd always had a good time in Texas, and I feel like I had a style that kind of gelled well with what a lot of Texas fans like. Obviously you want to try and get all over. So I mean, California would have been ideal at some point. I don't know about PWG style. I don't wrestle quite the way that they like it, but like some of that, Portland would have been great, just for the history aspect of it, because I'm a Roddy Piper guy too. So to see where he really honed and developed, Portland would have been great. Dragon Gate Evolve in like 2010, 2011 would have been super cool. I don't know. Like, basically, this isn't to toot my own horn, but like if I wanted to get there, I pretty much had a good shot of doing it. So I mean, I kind of got to wrestle in a lot of the places that I wanted to. I mean, I ended up doing a quick thing with AEW when they got on TV. I was a security guy and I got beat up by Claudio, so that was cool. I got thumped off the apron and I had some smart ass at the barrier go, "Get up, local talent." So they knew I wasn't a security guy.
Oh my gosh!
But I did that in St. Louis. That was fun. A couple handfuls of extra things. So like, I mean, in the capacity of some of the places I wanted to be, I didn't quite make it, but like,
sure,
the TV stuff. GCW would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Marcus Crane, long live, he was trying to get me to get on board really early on with it, to where it's like, it's going to be something that's going to be so big. And I was like, I believe you, but like, I've also heard that every place is going to be big. So I didn't drink the Kool-Aid as fast. And I probably should have, because now they're all over, and I mean, they've got names coming through. It's a revolving door of talent, and I sit here and go, maybe Mark was right on that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you never know until it actually catches fire or gathers momentum.
Yeah.
You never know. Like, that's just what's so crazy about independent wrestling is, yes, like it's there are promotions that are like, because I could say, the only thing keeping, a particular promotion back is maybe they don't broadcast, or they don't have, their shows are great, but they're not capturing maybe what could be a larger audience or a larger market they could tap into.
Yeah.
And I could toot my own horn about, Squared Circle Pro, about how it could go. It can capture, because I know there's quite, I mean, they sell out Jake's. It gets to be where it's standing room only. It's in the back of a bar restaurant. So you get a rowdy crowd and a lively crowd. I think the last one I went to, no production values, but the crowd was just, they were alive, and it was only maybe 6 matches, including a battle royale, and it was great. Crowd was, insider baseball lingo, hot the entire time. But there could be some things like, well, maybe they could reach out, maybe they could do like a YouTube, or but they stream through this one guy's YouTube channel, and I'm like, oh, but you need a Squared Circle Pro YouTube page. That's how people would find you. But I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta like dig to find those diamonds in the rough, and to find those really fun promotions and circuits to be like, okay, all right, this is cool, And sometimes, like, the promotions that get a lot of love are just the ones that just know how to, kick out their product, like, to where it's either word of mouth. Usually word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertisement, but they build on that, and they do different things to get themselves out there, so they draw more eyeballs. But just a media guy just being like, okay, all right. I love pro wrestling, but I don't really watch it a whole lot anymore. I think that's with a lot of people.
Yeah, I just keep up with the product on Twitter. I can watch a 3-hour show in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I got all the segments and the bits that I need to see. We're great. So I get it. Like it's all there was. I'm not going to drop too many more names, but there's some higher ups to where it was like your direct competition is in someone's pocket. So like if you can't hold their attention, they got a finger fucky device, as they describe it.
Sure.
So little finger fucky device where you can entertain yourself if the match isn't entertaining. So you have a short amount of time to grab them. So it's like, yeah, media is super important, and wrestling is usually about 5 years behind the times. And so technically, we're right in the middle of COVID now when it comes to wrestling. So we're still behind, but eventually we'll catch up. There's just that importance on media. It escapes some folks.
Yeah, it does. I mean, to go from, something like, I was complaining about this the other day, was like you go from, it's like we didn't know what we had until it was gone. Like the $9.99 WWE Network, as much as people hated Vince McMahon for pooping on a girl and, and I don't condone that by any means, but he tried to keep the product affordable. And that's the biggest thing, is just keeping the product affordable. And now it's like if you look at tickets for WrestleMania, they're astronomical.
Yeah, I never that much, but here we are.
Yeah, almost like a dystopian future where there's like advertisements everywhere, and you get Logan Paul that's wrestling, and oh my god, it's we're guys like, as much as I would be like, okay, Logan Paul's he's talented, don't get me wrong, he's very athletic, but there's being athletic, and then there's guys that are just like, okay, all right, they're athletic, or even if they're not super athletic, they get it, like they get the psychology. Yeah. So like, I think a really good example is, just Mosh Pit Mike, and I'm sure who Mosh Pit Mike is.
Yeah.
And, for all of, like, say what you will about Maj, but I thought the smartest thing was the first thing he would do in a match is go get a weapon. Because that's what you would do in a real fight. Like, yeah, I'm going to go get a real weapon. I'm not going to build up to it. I'm just going to go get it. And, we're going to have like a battle of chairs or what have you. But, that's just, that's how far down the rabbit hole gets for me, is it gets to the point where now it's real. Like, it's just, I think you told me one time, it's like, okay, yeah, you realize now you're getting into the rabbit hole, being like, okay, everything else is fake, but the camaraderie is real, stuff like that. Yeah. But I'm rambling. When you're the real star of the show, yeah. But some of your favorite matches, you can go into autistic detail, however you like. Yeah, some of your favorite matches
that I've been in, or
your favorite, okay. Your favorite all time that you've been in.
So there's a handful with Brian that I really like. Brian got were really good. Same with Joey Anderson. Chemistry was always really good with that. I would say ones where I ended up learning a lot, that did a lot for me, and then I just look back at them fondly. There would be, I had one with Madman Fulton in Omaha, and they were just getting ready to give him the big shove on TNA. So it was like he was really learning his psychology, and I was like, okay, this is great. And we went about 20 minutes and beat the hell out of each other. He almost missed his flight, and I had surgery the week before, so this match almost didn't happen.
Oh my gosh.
It's special in that way. And it's a really good match if you get a chance to look back at it. It's a fantastic match. I referenced it with Silas Young. Like, we went 2025, something like that. And it was a match that I've been chasing for like 10 years, and I finally got it. Yeah. That was down in Tulsa. And then over in Duluth, Minnesota, I got to wrestle Sin Bodhi. I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was that good.
He's really good.
And we wrestled maybe 12, 15 minutes. And I had about an hour and a half conversation with him, breaking it all down. Sure. So I was like, if you want to get it, you got to talk to him because Sin is he gets it on a whole other level. Let's see. Most recently, just on my back end run of like, this has been my last year, I would say probably my favorite was over in Thief River Falls with a guy named Nino Hatchet. We had a cage match. It was a very blood and guts Terry Funk cage match, to where it was we grinding each other out on the cage, and there was just blood everywhere. I slipped on a puddle of this man's blood. He had bled. I slipped in a puddle of it. We were bleeding everywhere, and it was great. It was a story we'd been kind of telling for about a year. We were the main event for the anniversary show, and we let it around for another year until we paid it off in the cage. And it was great. Probably my favorite from that year. My last tag match I had with Joey, we wrestled the guys Royal Flava over in Fargo, North Dakota. And that was reminded me why I love tagging with Joey, and it reminded me why I love tag wrestling. These are just the recent ones. As far as like overall, like gosh, I'd have to really dig because that's a lot of concussions ago.
It's a lot of concussions, a lot of beat downs.
Yes. But those are like the recent ones where I can be like look back at that and just go, yeah, these were the ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me build on that a little bit. So you learned a lot from Sin Bodhi. Along with Sin Bodhi, who else do you feel like you learned a lot from?
So I learned a lot there with Silas. As far as like going back and getting information afterwards. Sure.
Yeah. Whichever way you take it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Jason Strife was just, after working with him, really kind of understanding a lot more. He was a wrestling trainer, but as far as like, he had to see what you were doing and then tell you what was going on. Like he couldn't explain it on the front end, but on the back end, he could go, okay, so this is why. So he wasn't the guy who could build the car, but he could tell you what was wrong with it, why it wasn't running.
Sure.
So like matches with him, I learned a lot on the back end with it because he could just explain it. Learning a lot. Sin, gosh, I learned so much from him, and then I bugged him afterwards for so long about any other thing I had going on. I would say, yeah, those were like my big two, would be Sin and Strife, because they took that time. I'm not trying to glance over anybody else that has ever helped me, but those were like the big ones where they sat down and really broke it down for me.
Right. And kind of to enhance why like Strife was so good. And I mean, say what you will, but it was really cool to see him break down a match. Like where they're talking about, hey, this is how, it's like, oh, we're going to try this, this, and this. And Strife would be like, how about you try, like, let's try this and maybe insert a little bit of this and tweak this a little bit. And then here's the reasoning behind all these modifications. And then all the other guys are like, yeah, that's great. Like, so he was really good about like kind of taking what people brought out initially and then really kind of enhancing it and modifying it to where it made even more rhyme and reason. I mean, that's something that, for any of the uninitiated, like Jerry Lynn will tell you, it's got to have rhyme or reason. You just can't throw stuff on the wall and see what sticks. But, Strife was one of those guys. He would be like, okay, here's more rhyme, here's more reason behind why this is going on, or hey, here's why we're modifying this just a little bit, and then it sounds more appealing at the same time too. There was that type of charisma that he had. It was really fun to see like firsthand. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, this is great.
Yeah, he was always really good at making it matter. So you want to get from point A to point B, but he always found a way to make it mean more for that. And that's what wrestling is. Wrestling is those spaces in between those 2 points. And so he was always good about stuff like that. So I'd always kind of lean on him for, how to like make that moment breathe just a little bit, and how do we stretch this out to make this more important? But we're not wasting motion, because there's emotion over motion, right? Like if people aren't feeling anything, then why are you falling down? So like he always could elaborate on stuff like that. Mechanically, it was always afterwards where it's like, okay, so why didn't this land? He's like, oh, well, I would have. And then you watch him kind of do this move, and then he'd look up like there's some answer sheet up there where it's like he kind of Rain Manned it, and then you could piece it together for you afterwards.
Yeah. And you need somebody that can give you like some good feedback and be like, okay, all right, this is what I can do to to either, hey, this is something I can take for next time, and it's broken down in a way that I can understand it. And be like, okay, all right, yeah, that can work out, and it makes sense, like psychologically, it makes sense, and it makes sense physically as well. It's like, okay, why take 3 when you could just take 1, right?
Yep. Or
why wait for this guy to come at you in the middle of the ring when you could just cut him off at the ropes? Yeah. That's what I remember most, and those were always really fun. Oh gosh. Let's say you've been at it for 17, and I say 17 plus years. If you were to be like, I think as far as advice, what would you tell like a young cat, coming in, 2010, 2011, or even now, what would do Cornell give as advice for somebody like a Miles Journey that's, and I had him on a while ago, and he's like a wrestling hippie, which is kind of, that's kind of fun. And like, who I was like, tell me some road stories, because, like that's how I love the most, is all the road stories and all the stories from within the ring as well. And he didn't have anything for me. So it's like, but I think as far as like, do Cornell giving advice, what advice would you give to young guys?
Make it all mean something. A piece that Sin gave me was to where it was, we only get one body, and it's got to get to the finish line. You're not trying to bring the finish line closer, right? Because as much as we love all this, there's still life after this. There's life in the middle of this. There's life before this. You got to take care of your body. So if you're going to do it, you need to make it matter. You need to make it count. You need it to be justified. So like all the crazy bumps and the neck dumps, that's super cool. It's great for people to look at it like fireworks. And I know there's a huge internet debate on it too, and it has led to some weird tribalism, whatever. The fact is, these are people that aren't landing on their necks arguing about why people should land on their necks. Yeah, it's really
it's ridiculous.
So you got to make it all mean something. Like if you're going to do something wild, you got to make it mean something to where they're going to come back. You need to make it a reason that they feel, so they can come back and then invest in you. Otherwise, you are shortening the wellness of your body for nothing. So it just has to be important. You have to make the stuff matter, and not just because, well, pro wrestling is why I did it. No, like, why are we doing it? You got to make it count, because I could go through a whole roadmap of everything that's busted and broken on me. Like, I have bone chips floating around in me. I have a broken rib that I never took care of, broken ankle that I never took care of. I just wrapped it up and I kept wrestling. And the broken ankle one was, I slipped on beer, guys. It wasn't anything cool. There's no fun with that. There's some guy spilled beer and I was like, what kind of time are we having tonight? And I started to slip in a puddle of beer in wrestling boots, and they're smooth surface boots. So you go. So that's not really a great example there with my ankle, but like I now have all these injuries and things that hurt, things that don't feel good, but I can look back at it and go, okay, so this is what I was doing. This is why this mattered. It wasn't just something silly where I was like, oh, I just took something, I landed on my head, and now I can't look left. And it's like, you got to make the stuff matter. It all has to mean something tomorrow. Like, we're wrestling in the moment, but it all has to mean something tomorrow.
Sure.
If you're getting them to come back, you're falling down for you, and you're not wrestling for you because you didn't buy a ticket. They bought a ticket. You got to.
Yeah, I get you. That's really good. Yeah, like, yeah, the biggest thing is, yeah, you got to take care of your body so much, you know, you have to.
It's like a second time job, because you got to keep your mobility, you got to keep your cardio, you got to do everything.
Yeah.
Like, on top of that, you got to stay in shape, and then you still got Monday through Friday. Some of us are parents, and we got to go chase kids. Your kids don't know that shit hurts on you. They just go, "Oh, he's not moving." Well, that's
yeah.
They just don't care. Like, not that they don't care, they don't get it. Just because they're not, they don't piece the pieces together, and that's kids. So, you know, you got significant others that they're like, "Oh, well, he's useless on Monday after he's been on the road all weekend. I guess I got to do everything here. I know he's going to make it to work, and that's about it." You know, they don't piece it all together.
Right.
But that's take care of you, because you got life after this. Like, we live for those 15 minutes, right? We all talk about it, to where it was like, this is what we wanted to do since we were kids, brother. Well, you got your 15 minutes on Friday and Saturday and Sunday that you put together 45 minutes, and now it's dominated the next 128 hours of your week and someone else's week, because you don't want to move. And it's, you know, that's why it's such a full-time job, taking care of yourself, on top of getting all the work done, on top of the actual work you got to do, on top of any other obligations. So, and it leads all back to make sure it's worth it.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, like, you know, nutrition, I know Ed's, you know, talked about it a lot, but, you know, nutrition and, you know, yeah. And then also, making sure you can go work out and, you know, make sure you're properly stretched and whatever. I don't have to do that anymore, since I don't fall down anymore, but I still feel the ramifications. I kid people all the time. I was like, yeah, because of this, it took about 20 years off my life, you know?
No, this is, Tracy Smothers broke it down that taking a bump is about the equivalent of a 35-mile-an-hour car crash. And then you're going to go do it 6, 7, 20 more times. And it's like, why does my body feel like trash? Oh, this is why. So, yeah, I'm sure it's shortened my well-being, but, like,
yeah,
we'll find out when I get there, I guess. I'd like to do a pretty good job taking care of me. I mean, injuries, because, I mean, this is the ballet. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're going to. It's smart. And I lost Duke for a second. I think he should be able to pop back on. Uh-oh. Yeah. Anywho, let me hold down the fort for just a little bit. But yeah, you know, one of my favorite, you know, Duke's been a part of some of my favorite wrestling stories. And, you know, I've been lucky to, you know, so this is interesting. This is how I got to know Duke, and it goes way beyond from when he got started. And I'll just flip over real quick. So we met probably when I was probably about 7th grade, and we were yard tarding. Everybody starts yard tarding, right? And got to know him through a mutual friend, Alex McKay. And Alex McKay used to have a wrestling ring in his backyard. We were inspired by another place called, HCW. And it was kind of it was really bad because they didn't have ropes. They didn't have very much. And they would, it was just it was kind of like a open-ended square, and it was chain link fence, and then it was open, and it was like the entryway. And then, yeah, it was kind of goofy when you think about it now. And then and then Alex had, he built his own ring, and the ropes are made out of twine. No way we're going to run back and forth. We're going to bounce off those. But that's how I met Duke, and we had very colorful characters. Like Alex, he had these little like really cheap like theater masks, and he would paint them, and he would be like Titan X, which I thought was that was the goofiest gimmick. But another one I kind of that I thought was well, and then there was Joe Hill, and Joe he was like a Stone Cold Steve Austin wannabe. He wanted to and yeah, and then I think it was like me and Duke that came up with the original stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get Duke back in here because it kicked him out. He was having some issues, and then it kicked him. He is gonna gripe at me about Video Ninja all day, but yeah, man, like. That's how we met, and that's how we became friends. And I remember, going to the chiropractor, and the chiropractor's like, "You got to quit backyard wrestling." I know it's like very popular to do right now because wrestling is very popular. Because that was during the Monday Night Wars. This was during, this was 1999, 2000, and it was ridiculous, about how popular wrestling was. And then because of that wrestling boom. You get Duke Cornell. I think without the Monday Night Wars, you don't get Duke Cornell. You don't get Tyler Liger. You don't get about half of those fans. I would say at least half to a quarter of those fans, or 3/4 of those fans. I think that's very safe to say. But I don't know, just. Poor video. Poor Duke. Video Ninja's been just not liking him all day. It is ridiculous. But let me do something really quick. There we go. All right. Okay, we got you back.
All right.
We got you back.
You guys don't have very great service here in this captive basement.
I know. Yeah, it's definitely not a tickle chamber, that's for sure.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, so I was telling the kind of how we met, and it was through Alex McKay's like backyard, and guys like were Alex was like this Titan X guy, and then there was Joe Hill, who wanted to be Stone Cold Steve Austin in real life. I saw him years later, and I didn't recognize him, and it was so weird. But
yeah, he's changed a lot. I haven't ran into him a whole lot.
No,
I've seen him a couple times. I know him and Andy Potter I see float around every once in a while.
Okay. But I was talking about how we initially met, and that was through Alex McKay's backyard. And then to think now, like, because I think without the Monday Night Wars and without us, trying to pretend we fall over in a backyard with twine ropes, there would be no Duke Cornell. There would be no Tyler Liger. I think with how popular wrestling was in the late 90s, there wouldn't be like at least half the 3/4 of us.
It's true, and then taking a look at it, like guys that I came up with, right? Because I'm old, we're old. We've seen everybody come up. Like we remember, all these greats rookie years. Like, Cena retired recently. Like we remember when he started.
Yeah.
Like how old we are, and I'm on my way out the day before that he was on the way out. So yeah, to think like the influence that generation had It's pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see like what we came up through. And I talk about this with the young kids a lot, to where it's like, when I started, you're trying to get bookings through MySpace.
Yeah.
Like, just to date myself here, guys, I started. And then you see like now where they have their whole resume on an AirDrop, and it's got music, it's got quality 8x10s, it's got all the great headshots. We were hoping someone had a camera at any of those. And so to see like the evolution of all of it, and then to hear like the new influences for kids that are coming in, they're always like, oh yeah, I really started getting into Motor City machine guns. It's like, I remember when they started tagging. Holy shit.
That was back in 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then like
man.
Old school tag wrestling, and it was like, oh, like Midnight Express, rock and roll. No, like, then they say Motor City machine guns and TNA, and I go, I'm sorry, we have way different ideas on old school wrestling.
Yeah.
What to say out loud to me?
Well, at least they weren't influenced by Teddy Hart.
No. There's a whole Twitter account that used to be dedicated to if Teddy's in jail.
Now you get how you can say the same thing about the DiBiase's, like, Ted Jr., like, he's getting in trouble. Man, yes, Mike I remember, what was it? This was a while ago. Mike DiBiase being chased by the law for fraud or whatever. Oh, all the while after. Oh my gosh. And his dad was fantastic,
Yeah. Ted Sr., great dude. I've ran into him a couple times.
Yeah.
Don't be around. The other two couldn't stay out of trouble if they wanted to.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's nuts. Oh gosh. Okay. We told some of your favorite stories, and we'll, if we got more, there'll always be other times. The door's always open for you.
Good, because the sound of my own voice helps me sleep at night.
Yeah, being interrogated by 3 dudes and a dead dog,
I don't know what you have a pool triangle, but you don't have a pool table. You left me down here with a dead dog and a half-drank Sprite. I don't understand.
Oh, so like there's one more story I could tell, and it's the Sprite Wisers. And it's Craig and our good mutual friend Craig. And we were together for, I think, high school wrestling, and there was a guy out of like Brit or whatever, another sports reporter. And he was big on, like, the Stone Cold Steve Austin. So like whenever we had Sprites, we'd call them Sprite Wisers, and we do Stone Cold Steve Austin impressions. But those were good times. I mean, Craig could do a better impression than I can, but goodness gracious. Oh, maybe you should share one of your favorite Craig or Adam Carter stories, since Craig might be around, and I know Adam's in chat. So,
gosh, it feels like a whole time ago. I've had children since then.
Yeah,
multiple children. I remember sitting in Adam's basement the night that Benoit killed his family. So we can talk about.
I remember this one.
Yeah, we were watching Night of Champions. We're all down in the basement. I had put together like this big extravagant sandwich. I remember I was so proud of it, and I smashed it in 5 minutes before the show even started. And we were sitting there, and we were waiting for Benoit to come out, and it was Johnny Nitro that came out, and I was super confused, and I was like, what? Who calls in sick in wrestling? That doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. And it turns out he called in dead. And he called out for Nancy and her boy too. It's not a laughing matter.
It's not a laughing matter, but
I cope with dark humor, guys. I cope with dark humor. Mm. But if it's not funny, is it humorous? Anyway.
Sure.
So I remember sitting there that night with those guys. Like that's one night that really kind of stands out, other than like, I feel like we watched a lot of trashy XPW. I know AAA, we watched a lot of AAA on Telemundo.
A lot of AAA.
Yeah, we were really just kind of hoping for Super Porky at any moment, but then we got like everybody else, and it's like, this is not Super Porky.
Now, to counter that, we did have White Ranger, and we had Pat.
Yes, we did have White Ranger and Pat. We couldn't figure out who or what Pat was, so Pat seemed appropriate.
Yeah.
White Ranger, though. Shout out White Ranger. I don't know. I never picked up his name. I didn't learn enough Spanish to get it. But bless the White Ranger and bless Pat.
Yeah, and the thing with White Ranger is like when they did Worlds Collide, the crossover pay-per-view, they actually showed kind of him out in the crowd, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're getting old. And then but Pat showed up in like one of the special matches. Because he was an Exotico, and I was like, oh, that's Pat. He's over there kissing guys. Pat hasn't changed one bit.
No, Pat's time.
Okay, all right. I think. Okay, I lied. One more thing.
Sure.
You gotta give a shout out to Sumo Dog, because I know Drew, our boy Drew, will be watching. And he will be like, and to give context, Sumo Dog is Sweeze's dog. And Sweeze is kind of America's Sweezeheart. He gets into shenanigans. He mentioned me on X the other night, and I think he had a little bit too fun of a time. And he tags me on X, and I think every other word was like Sweeze and Swizzle podcast. Yeah, but it's his dogs, and his dog is like the goodest boy. Sumo is gotten shout outs from comedians and sportscasters, and I think Twitch streamers. So I think you are the next one. You are given the privilege of shouting out Sumo Dog.
Well, all right. Shout out to Sumo Dog. And Sumo Dog, if I can give you just a piece of advice, never get near Jameson McGregor. He will hit you with a car. I've seen him do it to lesser dogs. Boy, he's got no problem just running over any dog. Oh, that dog's history, but he ran over that dog with a car full of sleeping people and then looked back at us and went, "Get it? We didn't get it. Still don't get it." So just don't go near him if he's in a car, because he will run you over. He's done it before. He'll do it again. So to keep being the goodest boy and live the goodest life, don't go near Jameson McGregor. Because he ran over.
Yeah, you stay away from that Jameson McGregor. He's no good.
Yeah, he runs over dogs. At least one.
Yeah, at least one. Who knows? Like, he might have not told us about any other dogs getting ran over.
Yeah, I don't know. I was there for one, and I still don't get the joke. He did it because it was funny.
But there's nothing funny about running over a dog. I mean, I'm just laughing because the guy's stupid.
A part of me wants to give him the benefit of the doubt to where it's like, maybe there is something funny to it. There hasn't been anything funny to it. I don't know.
I don't know either.
You have to think 5 years on the joke. Maybe it wasn't funny, but he did run over that dog.
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe instead of people roasting you, they should have roasted Jameson McGregor.
Yeah,
for hitting his dog and being like, "Get it?
Yeah, he's like, get it?
Get it? I hit a dog."
Should just publicly address that he ran over a dog.
Well, he could always take the Violent V course and just say, what we gonna do? We gonna get drunk and go around town and fight dogs, or what? Because V would always have that lisp to him. So
he didn't even need to be drunk. It's just recreational running over dogs.
Yeah, please don't run over dogs. Just do make sure that they're spayed and neutered.
Or in his case, dead.
Oh.
I don't know. I can't stress this enough, guys. He ran over a dog.
Besides hitting dogs or running dogs over, do you have some parting words? Something that'll make us all laugh.
Yeah, okay, so don't hit dogs.
Okay.
Can't stress that enough, Jameson. Don't hit dogs. Oh, let's see. Some road stories that are safe for consumption. I don't know.
It's all good. I could just put the parental advisory on it. It's all good.
Okay. Well, let's see. This one's out of statute of limitations. So back in the vein of like just trying to find things to entertain you, and like you're on the road and you just kind of live there, right? There was one stretch where we were going and working in Missouri a lot. Mm-hmm. So, and I preface this to where you have to be outside the statute of limitations because there is theft involved from the Missouri state government. So we were on our way back and we were stopped at some stop sign and there was road construction, but no one was there. Like it wasn't even late at night. It was just, they just hadn't picked up all their stuff, you know, like how some of that goes. They just, we're done. Tomorrow we'll pick it all up. Well, at some venture in this, they had just a little aluminum bucket with concrete in it and then a stick. I don't know what it was for, but I knew we were going to take it. So we put it in the car with us and named it Bucky and took it on road trips. And for a couple months there, we actively kept young boys, green kids out of the car so we could make sure that we had room to take Bucky on the road with us. And Bucky stayed in my garage. And we have a photo album of where we took Bucky on tour with us in Missouri. So it doesn't make sense to anybody that's normal. So I go back to wrestling's built on it's lunatics, where if it wasn't for wrestling, they might be dead or in jail.
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit that entertained us. We stole a stick with concrete on the end of it, and then we wouldn't let other people go live their dream of traveling with us in wrestling. Unless the bucket got to come with us first. So yeah, there's stuff like that.
The bucket's always got to have a spot.
Yes. And so, and this was another great rib. It was speaking of Missouri. So Sean and I, we were on our way back and he had just started laughing maniacally about something.
No.
And I was like, what's going on in there? Because it was about 4 a.m. We were sleep deprived. Everything was funny. He's like, I think I just came up with the best rib. So the rib is, we're going to take a couple young guys on the road with us. And then at some point, we're just going to pull off to the side of the road, act like we're going to go check the tire pressure, open the door, pull a kid out, punch him a few times, get back in the car and drive away for a mile, come back and get him. And I was like, that's actually fun. So,
punch him a couple times.
So we had 2 young guys in the car with us like a couple weeks later. And we had pulled off to the side of the road, and he gives me the look. I was like, oh, fuck, he really wants to do this. I just thought it was sleep deprivation. And so we got 2 guys in the car, and one of them is sitting there with a seatbelt on in the back. You know, there's safety first. A grown-ass man with a seatbelt on in the back. Anyway. So we pull over, and he's like, I'm going to check the tire pressure. So he gets out, goes to the side where the guy doesn't have the seatbelt on. Pulls open the door, pulls the kid out. I hop out of the passenger seat, and we're just beating him up a little bit, just to fuck with him. We're not going out for blood. Yeah. Just a couple to like keep him down. Meanwhile, his friend is in the back fighting with this seatbelt that is now locked on him, and he's like, "No, stop it!" And he's like, "Ashton, get out," but he can't like lean forward to unclasp it, and he's like, it's the most adorable thing. He's being bested by this seatbelt, and so back in the car, drive like nothing happened while he's still struggling with his seatbelt to like get out and fight us. And we take the next exit, we come back around, and we scoop this guy back up on the side of the highway. He thought it was funny because he was in bands, so like band guys will fuck with each other too. So like he got the joke. Meanwhile, the other guy's freaking out that we just kicked this dude's ass on the highway, and then we acted like nothing happened.
You beat up my friend, how dare you?
He's like, what are you doing? You psychopath! And we're just driving. Nothing. I'm just sitting there with my hands in my lap. Sean is just going, and this kid is just freaking out. I'm like, it makes it more better because he's sitting here still fighting with the child locks on a seatbelt in the back seat. That's why if his friend was actually getting beat up, he was bested by his seatbelt. And I could not help but laugh at this. God, like, No, stop it.
The seatbelt was not letting him get over. We'll just say that.
The seatbelt was in on the rip. It was great.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I got one more before we go.
Sure.
I know we could tell stories all day, but what good is like a show if you let all the stories go in one episode? But I remember we were heading up to Philadelphia the first time, and it's me, Rex Reed, Violent V, and Violent V makes egg salad sandwiches. And he puts them in a cooler. He has them in a cooler. And he's like, well, I thought it was really nice of him. And, he thought he was doing us a favor. He's like, hey guys, I figured we get hungry. So I made some egg salad sandwiches, and I put them I brought a big cooler for us to eat them. So we didn't have to spend a whole lot of money on the road. And, but the problem is they may taste good going down, but they don't smell good coming out the other end.
No.
And I just remember it's either because V never drove. He didn't drive one single mile that entire trip. It was either me or it was Rex. And V sometimes would sit in the back seat and he would just rip ass in the back. And it would be that egg salad sandwich. And we would have to smell that for almost an entire week just because somehow, some way he kept on pulling out egg salad sandwiches and eating them. And he would rip ass. And we're like, come on, we'd have to keep cracking down the windows. And granted, this is like a Toyota Yaris with none of the bells attached. This is like the cheapest of the cheap rental car. And we are having to crank windows. We had no cruise control. So I just pulled off a 12, 13 hour drive yesterday. And I don't feel too bad, but it was because I had cruise control. That Toyota Yaris, I was not there was no cruise. So it just takes a toll on you. And to have the smell of, just egg salad sandwich, plus asshole and and then we also got into other shenanigans, and I think I've told them in previous episodes, but yeah, it's a week I'll never have back, but it was probably one of the best road stories I could tell. And there's stories within stories, and it involves Dragon Gate and how the Philly crowd no-sold BB Hulk, and I was the only one that got up and smacked hands with him after he made a guy powder the outside, because I got it. I was like, oh, I'm here to be entertained. He was entertaining, but I digress. Oh my gosh. But one more thing before I go. I know I've been saying one more thing. Congrats on being the 2026 inductee in the Nebraska Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. That's awesome. I'm so proud of you. I'm very proud. And I'm to where I could do the Leonardo DiCaprio and be like, I know that guy. And along with all the accolades that you acquired along the way, a Lifetime Achievement Award, all that wonderful stuff. And then also being a guest on the show, somebody who I've wanted to bring on for the longest time, because I know we tell stories, and it would always be secondhand information. Now it's okay, all right, now we can tell those stories, and have us both tell those stories to viewers, or if we needed references to anything, it's oh yeah, that happened. I was that was my perspective. Oh, hey, here's your perspective. And it still ended up being a really fun time. So
yeah, the getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, that was, I had mixed feelings with it, because there was the original curator where him and I had our falling out, because I found him to be a fraud. Sure. You can go ahead and snip this and send it to him. I give not one shit. His name is Donnie Dodge. Okay. I will tell all to his face, and I will headbutt his teeth down his throat. Um, he conducted himself poorly. His social media presence was less than desirable. His professional presence was even less. Did not enjoy him, but he wanted to start this Hall of Fame, and it felt like it was just an old boy trying to keep people around where he could pretend that he was friends with wrestlers. And unfortunately, with wrestling, sometimes it's a bit of a vanity project for some of us, to where we're like, oh, we just want to be recognized for our efforts, and who wouldn't, right? We put a lot of time into it. Why wouldn't we want to? But he made it to where it was a project for him. I mean, there's public tweets where he was like burying Sting because Sting wouldn't respond to his email about going into a Hall of Fame.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Just to paint the picture here with how he conducted the Hall of Fame, he would ask for old memorabilia of guys, and then he would keep it in the back of his van, and then just display it on a table at a show and be like, this is what a Hall of Fame looks like, guys. Aren't you like super excited? Meanwhile, it's at like a show that is not a desirable one that a lot of guys who have put in time and effort really want to be on. But then he wants like Sting stuff, Mantar's things, something from Ted DiBiase at a table where there's a guy who's 400 pounds wearing 200-pound gear tights. And he's like, so now they look like this. And it was a vanity project for him, is what it felt like. But after he got removed from his own thing, and now there's a committee that actually is taking it seriously and gives a shit about the product, and how they conduct themselves professionally, I'm more than honored to be part of it. I get to be put at the table with a lot of guys that I came up with. Jason Strife, he's one of them that's there. He was inducted. Donnie Pepper Cricket, guys like Tony Cortez, Hype Gotti, they're right up there. They were guys that I came in with. They were the vets that I bothered for all kinds of attention. They liked me because I was funny, so it worked out for me on that one. But those were my guys, and to be able to sit at a table with them, and then to get inducted at my own roast, where I got the lifetime achievement there. I had gotten inducted into the Hall of Fame. I became an honorary member of the Black community. Shout out Nino Hatchet. I didn't forget.
Nice.
He says I get one, but I think all white people get one. But it's what happens after the one. But I'm not using it. I haven't used it. There might be some ups in traffic, but I don't use it. But to be able to do all that, and then at the end of the night, I get to be in a Hall of Fame with my friends, mentors, colleagues. It was truly great, and I greatly appreciate it. And eat shit, Nani Dodge. You can clip that and send it to him too.
Hell yeah!
You whole bowl of poop.
Eat shit, Nani Dodge. You stupid fat piece of dick.
You stupid piece of bitch. You fat piece of shit. Fat piece of dick.
You fat piece of dick. Oh man, but cool deal. I'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll reach out to you for a future date. We got to tell more stories.
I'm trapped in this basement until your guys let me out, and take the dog, please.
The dog's gonna start smelling after a while.
I think either that or Jameson's gonna come down here and hit it again.
Well, we better tell Jameson to get his shit
running
together.
Over the same dog again, but he would do it because he ran over a dog. He would go run over a dead one too. Be like, it's already dead. Get it?
Yeah,
Monster.
That son of a bitch.
Monster.
All right. Well, okay. Well, again, congratulations. Thanks for being on the show. Despite the three guys interrogating you about 40 minutes, like past 2:00.
That drug me down into a basement. And then the dead dog.
We do appreciate you on. We'll definitely bring you back in the near future. And
I like to talk. We can probably do it in better than this basement with bad signal.
Yeah. Well,
don't have to,
but if there's a guest that's bad though, you can keep the door open and you can escape and you can throw the other person down there.
That's true. You know what? That's a good idea. Stay down here with the dog that Jameson hit.
Yeah. Screw you, Jameson McGregor, you stupid fat piece of bitch.
Yeah, he hit a dog. He's shit.
Okie dokie. All right. Well, have a good rest of the day.
All right, we'll do. You too.
Will do. And I'll be in touch. Just
Sounds good.
Keep yourself out of trouble, okay?
I got all kinds of time to do it now, so I suppose.
All right. Well, okay. I think a few more things for me to bring up before we go. The next episode, we'll have Dennis J. Puska, so he'll spend time with you down in the dungeon.
Neat.
Yeah. He's a longtime hockey broadcaster. You'll enjoy his company. He's next week, and then we have a localologist. So like people that make themselves out to be goofballs on the internet, this guy documents them and keeps tabs on them. So he'll be down in the dungeon too. And then I'll have Squirt Circle Pro Hangover. So that's when you guys can all jailbreak out of the Tickle Dungeon. And then I get Rex Reed, hopefully February 1st. And then I end it with a season finale with Kale Steed. So
there we go.
Yeah. Yep. So then I take a little bit of a break. Then everybody breaks out of jail. Yes.
We get out of the Tickle basement.
Yeah, out of the Tickle Dungeon. But cool deal. All right, let's end the show. I don't really have like a slogan that we say before we go. So
okay.
I don't know. Do I just tell Jameson McGregor quit running over dogs?
You can do that, or eat shit, Donnie Dodge.
Eat shit, Donnie Dodge. That's a good way to end it. All right. Until next time. I'm Tyler Liger. I was with the Copperhead dude Cornell. The always fantastic Copperhead dude Cornell. Gotta do that. All right. We are out of here. We'll see y'all soon.
All right. Hey, no problem. I'll talk about me all day. Oh, I had to throw the hat backwards. Otherwise, you're just going to look at this the whole time. Hey, guys. Hey, so it's like dark and broody in this interrogation basement.